Alright, everybody, welcome to another episode of GCW Local to Global. We're starting off on the December 1st, 1997 episode of Fuel. We're on the pre-show. We got 3 matches on the pre-show, 2 singles matches, and 1 tag team match? I don't remember. Something like that. We're starting off with Chaos Dynamite versus Horseshoe. Horseshoe's on a one-off. It's the future Luther Reigns. And he's taking on Chaos Dynamite, and Chaos gets the win with a springboard lariat. 21. Adam Pearce versus the Real Luchador is up next, and Real Luchador gets the win. Boris Luchador signed to GCW, and he is the best luchador. 24. And then we got the Trust Fund versus Too Cool, and Too Cool get the win over the Trust Fund. And Reginald Scott Riggs wasn't that great. And Buckled Stone got a 38, which is why his contract will not be renewed heading into the draft, the brand split draft. 59, and then Too Cool dance a little bit to get the crowd excited to open the show with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he cuts a promo on who the enforcer might be for his Revolution main event match against The Rock. And he says it doesn't matter who it is, because Austin's going to kick some ass at Revolution no matter what. So this gets an 88. Chris Jericho versus Billy Gunn for the Intercontinental Championship opens the show, and Jericho gets the win over Billy Gunn with a lion salt after interference from the Godfather. Great match here. Really showcasing what these two can do in the mid-card. And Jericho with a 93. Jericho is just fantastic. Afterwards, Owen Hart comes out. He brawls with Jericho a little bit, and then Owen locks Jericho into the sharpshooter. And Jericho taps. 69. Backstage with Paul Bearer and his clients, Ken Shamrock and the Big Show of Show Rock, part of the syndicate. And they're just mocking DDP and his mystery tag team partner for Revolution. So it gets a 74. Got Chris Benoit, the United States champion, cutting a promo, and out comes Booker T. Booker T defeated Dean Malenko to advance in a mini tournament, with the winner facing Chris Benoit at Revolution. And Booker promises Benoit that he's going to win the mini finals or whatever of that little tournament, and he will face Benoit at Revolution. That match for the who will face Booker T is in the main event tonight. It is Eddie Guerrero versus Perry Saturn. So 76 right here. Rey Mysterio, the number 1 contender to the Cruiserweight Championship, gets a win over Agia in 6:17 with a springboard Hurricane Rana, and Agia with a 66. Good job. But Rey, of course, 84, always has a good performance in him. 70. Chavo, the Cruiserweight Champion, attacks Rey after the match, gets a 56. We're panning to backstage where Taz and Cactus Jack are having a little bit of a brawl, throwing chairs around and just being hardcore, a hardcore nuisance to the backstage area. 77. Dustin Rhodes faces his first challenge of Bobby Duncan's conditions. He faces Tex Slazenger of the Texas Whippers and gets the win in 6:37 with the final cut. Dustin has to defeat all members of Texas Whippers before he can get his hands on Bobby Duncan Jr. So Tex is down. He's got Shanghai Pierce to go and Adrian Adonis to go. So 70 right here. Brian Pillman and Chris Candido exchanging words in the middle of the ring. Pillman is furious that Chris Candido has cost him the Intercontinental Championship twice, and Candido is furious that Pillman has cost him the World Championship on Ignition this past Thursday. So these two are still very upset with each other. We move on to Shawn Michaels and Triple H cutting a promo, and out comes The Undertaker and Kane. And we got an announcement on Ignition. It's going to be The Undertaker versus Triple H in a singles match. That's going to be the main event of Ignition. 93 right here. And then we move to the main event. Perry Saturn gets the win over Eddie Guerrero in a 24-minute match. Death Valley Driver gets the 1-2-3. So Perry Saturn versus Booker T is your finals for the mini tournament for a championship opportunity at the United States Championship. Gets a 75. And the show with an 84. It's alright. It's not too bad. 1.5 mil in the bank. Mexico goes up, Japan goes up, and Europe goes up. That's great. So decent show overall. Got no complaints there. And now we still got Ignition to book. Slow stimulation. There he is. Slow simulation. There you go. Bret Hart argument with Brian Knobbs. Somehow, I believe that. Mike Bell wants to get back in the ring. Well, he's working for Rival Pro, but he's working backstage, so he's not really having an impact on TV, as you can see. He's just a jobber, but he has booking skills, so I figured I might as well put him on the booking team because we have space, so might as well. So that's the booking team in Rival Pro. It's Scott D'Amore, Null, of course, Johnny Ace. Scott D'Amore, Patrick Vaughn, the former owner, still works here because he's got decent booking skill. Carter R.Y., Reckless Youth, and then Mike Bell. So not much for Rival Pro. Let's go for GCW. What's going on over here? Butterbean is training for a fight. Good for Butterbean. Aguia's pretty good in the ring. I agree. Yeah, that's just the same. Alright, let's get into Ignition. I'm going to get into booking it. I'll be right back with the results in just one moment. Alright, we're here on Ignition, December 2nd, airing December 4th. We're starting off on the pre-show. Goldberg gets a win over Van Hammer in 450 with the jackhammer. Goldberg is still signed to Rival Pro. He's just having a one-off appearance with GCW, as he so often does. Regarding the draft, I'm going to update it now. Rival Pro will not be eligible to be drafted. So wrestlers from Rival Pro will not be eligible. However, I believe it's 10. Let me count. 10. GCW, each brand is going to recall 10 wrestlers from Rival Pro. Those will not be revealed in the draft. They will be sporadically shown throughout the weekly shows in GCW for Fuel and Ignition. So some of these wrestlers, for example Goldberg, will be called up to GCW, but they will not be a part of the draft. Understood? Perfect. But you can see them. You'll be able to see them in the shows. So 35 right here for the opener. We're opening the show with Ken Shamrock, Paul Bearer, and the Big Show cutting a promo, and out comes DDP. He introduces his partner. It is Sting, as probably a lot of you predicted, because Sting needs something to do for Revolution. So it's going to be DDP and Sting versus Ken Shamrock and the Big Show at Revolution. 86. We're continuing on. Dustin Rhodes versus Shanghai Pierce. Dustin gets the win with the final cut. So Dustin only needs to defeat Adrian Adonis, and he will be able to face Bobby Duncombe Jr. at Revolution. So 70 right here. Why is Gene Okerlund in here? I thought I removed him. Alright, just pretend Gene is not there. Alright, Gene is not there. Michael Cole interviews Chavo Guerrero. You know what? Fine. Gene can be in there. Gene interviews the new interviewer, Michael Cole. They're both working as interviewers for this segment. And they're interviewing the Cruiserweight Champion, Chavo Guerrero, on Rey Mysterio. Michael Cole is going to be the interviewer for Ignition for the foreseeable future. 48. Taz gets a promo, and out comes Cactus Jack to confront him. Gets an 82. Chris Candido versus Hector Garza is up next. Candido gets a win over Garza in 6:19 with a blonde bombshell. The commentators throughout the match talk about Brian Pillman and the current situation with Chris Candido. Michael Cole interviews The Godfather backstage, and he asks him, why are you having these troubles with DX? And Godfather says, I want to recruit China to be my new hoe. So gets a 55 right here. So China, you're in sight for The Godfather. and the whole regime. Booker T versus Perry Saturn promo. They're facing off on Nitro. I guess I'm confused with WCW 2000. Booker T and Perry Saturn are cutting promo. They're facing off on Fuel next week. The winner will face Chris Benoit at Revolution for the United States Championship. And that's pretty decent, 75. Owen Hart versus Juventud Guerrero is up next. Owen gets a win over Juvi in 10:09 by submission with the sharpshooter. It's a great match, as this would be in real life. Owen Hart and Juventud Guerrero would be fantastic. So it gets an 89 right here, especially 97. Peak for both men, really. Peak for Owen, peak for Juvi as a cruiserweight in WCW. Afterwards, we got Chris Jericho attacking Owen Hart. He locks him into the Lion Tamer, just like Owen locked Jericho in the sharpshooter on Fuel. Jericho does the same to Owen Hart right here with the Lion Tamer. Gets an 86. Steve Austin cuts a backstage promo. The special enforcer for his match with The Rock is being introduced next week on Fuel, where he's being revealed. Gets a 92. So, yeah. Main event time. Gets a 99 right here. Triple H versus The Undertaker. And The Undertaker gets the win when Triple H got disqualified after an interference from Shawn Michaels. At 99 on free TV, Undertaker versus Triple H. Doesn't surprise me, really. Afterwards, we got a beatdown. Triple H and Shawn Michaels beat down The Undertaker, and Kane comes out to make the save. Gets an 85. We finish the show with a 92. Fantastic main event right there for Ignition. And our popularity goes up in Canada, in Japan, in Mexico, and in Europe. I'm happy with that. It's a great episode of Ignition. Fuel was alright. Got an 84. It's not too bad. We're getting closer and closer to Revolution. I think we're like 2 episodes away. Let's see. December 8th, December 9th is next episode, 15, 16, and then Revolution. So yeah. Not next episode, but the episode after that. I'm going to record all 3 right now. I'm going to record all 3 episodes in a row. Oh, some new signings for Rival Pro. We got Nick Densmore. We got Robert Thompson. I'm not gonna go check that because that's gonna be the special enforcer for the match. I already know. So thank you guys for watching this episode of GCW. Make sure to like if you like this video, subscribe if you want more. In the next episode, we'll be running Fuel number 147 as well as the next Ignition. We're getting closer to Revolution. We're getting real close. Only 18 minus 5 would be 13. Only 2 weeks to go until Revolution. So until then, have a good one. We'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.